Welcome back to Breaking Ground. I'm Siddharth Talia. Now, left-arm seamer Arshdeep Singh made a mistake yesterday in the Super Force game between India and Pakistan in the Asia Cup. At a very sensitive moment in the dying stages of the match, he dropped a catch of Dilkhush Ali of the Pakistani team, and he was subjected to brutal trolling on the part of many fans. And now it turns out that many of the trolls were in fact Pakistanis. The comments and the vicious comments that have been made against Arshdeep Singh can in fact be traced to Pakistani bots that in fact defamed him and called him Khalistani. Now, the Indian government has taken strong exception to this, as have many within the cricketing fraternity as well, including the former Indian captain Virat Kohli, as well as a whole host of other commentators who've rallied behind Arshdeep Singh and said that what happened was a bona fide, genuine mistake, even though a sinister attempt on the part of several Pakistani bots appeared to indicate that this was indeed deliberate. Let's listen into what the former Indian captain Virat Kohli had to say.
देखिए, गलती किसी से भी हो सकती है और बड़ा मैच है, सिचुएशन भी थोड़ी टाइट थी। ये सब चीज़ें नेचुरल है फील करने के लिए, लेकिन सीनियर प्लेयर आपके आसपास आते हैं। कल हम लोग एज ए टीम फिर इकट्ठा होंगे, तो जब माहौल अच्छा होता है तो फिर आप उस चीज़ से सीखते हैं और अगली बार अगर वैसी अपॉर्चुनिटी आए तो आप लुक फॉरवर्ड करते हैं कि यार दोबारा मेरे पास क्या आनी चाहिए।
Now, such was the sinister attempt to defame Arshdeep Singh that even his Wikipedia profile had been changed and he'd been referred to as a Khalistani. Now, the Ministry of Information and Technology has taken umbrage to this and sought an explanation on the part of the officials of Wikipedia as to how this change came about. Also, Manjinder Singh Sirsa of the BJP has written to the Indian government to escalate it to the highest level and take it up with the Pakistani counterparts as well.
अर्शदीप को खालिस्तान के साथ जोड़कर उसकी छवि को खराब करने का काम कर रहे हैं। देश में, भारत में अंदर सिखों के खिलाफ अपनी जहर उगल रहे हैं। इन सभी की मैं कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं। मैं भारत सरकार से भी आग्रह करता हूं कि पाकिस्तान के ऐसे लोगों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई करने के लिए पाकिस्तान को मजबूर किया जाए और ये ISI का एजेंडा जो है किसी सूरत में ना आज तक लागू हमने होने दिया है, ना होने देंगे।
Now, former Indian cricketer Kirti Azad, who's now part of the Trinamool Congress, has asked that in the event that the person who dropped the catch on the part of the Indian team was a Hindu, how would the reaction actually have been?
When you drop catches, there are some bad times and we should take it in the stride. Very unfortunate. I'm very sorry the way people are going after Arshdeep.
Let me go across to Karishma, who's bringing us all the updates on this. Karishma, there's been a very strong reaction to kind of trolling that Arshdeep has been subjected to on the social media. This is something that we witnessed with Mohammad Shami as well during India's loss in the World T20 again against Pakistan. And many of these bots and many of these social media handles can in fact be traced to Pakistan. So there's clearly an orchestrated attempt here to defame Arshdeep Singh.
Well, it's absolutely, Siddharth. It is an orchestrated attempt not just to defame Arshdeep Singh, but also to divide India. But this attempt has fallen flat on the faces of, Pakistani propaganda, because this has united India, and everyone in India has come out in support of Arshdeep Singh. We were listening to obviously Virat Kohli, but the common man also, sympathizing with Arshdeep Singh and saying that these kind of things happen, mistakes happen. At the end of the day, it is just a cricket match and nothing more than that. But it is, these Pakistani handles on social media that have labeled him as a Khalistani supporter, as voice of Khalistan or a Khalistan prime minister. So clearly, this is the hatred that they're trying to spread in India, but it is not successful. And now the IT ministry has also taken note of this and summoned Wikipedia officials, and they will have to explain as to how it was so easy for anybody to edit a cricketer Arshdeep's page and add Khalistani to it. It is insulting and derogatory for the cricketer, and as a matter of fact, it is just a cricket match and he just dropped a catch, and it could happen with the senior players as well, and that's exactly what Virat Kohli said. So the government of India
Right, Karishma, let me just interrupt you there, because we're being inundated right now with calls from different parts of the country showing solidarity with Arshdeep Singh. We're joined by Vinod from Bengaluru. Yes, Mr. Vinod, what's your response to the kind of trolling that Arshdeep has been subjected to?
My response is it's really sad. We should question all the trollers why they did not say anything when he took the Babar Azam catch in the first match. It was a turning point for our team, and Arshdeep took that catch beautifully and we won the match. So people should introspect first themselves and then question Arshdeep.
And Vinod, what's also very interesting to see is that a lot of these trolls who are in fact going after Arshdeep, labeling him a Khalistani, a lot of these social media handles can in fact be traced to Pakistan. This is something that happened against Mohammad Shami as well.
True. It's always they try to mingle politics with our religion and other things.
Right. Thanks a lot for that response. Vinod, we're also being joined by Mr. O.P. Swaminathan again from Bengaluru for his response. Yes, Mr. Swaminathan, what's your response to the kind of trolling that Arshdeep has received on the social media?
Good evening. Arshdeep has made India proud to represent India out of 1.23 billion. See, the topic catches and all, it is all with so much of crowd and such tension. It can happen to even the best bowler, best fielder can trip. And you see, if the last over of India, Vishnu scored 8 runs, which India did not deserve. So if they had not missed those chances, Pakistan, India would have lost in the 19th over itself. This trolling is done by Pakistan. No Indian in his sane mind will do it. So people should just ignore these characters.
Absolutely, and he also bowled a fairly impressive last over. The match went to the penultimate ball. Let me in fact go across to Desigan as well, who's joining us from Chennai. Yes, Mr. Desigan, your response.
Absolutely, and he also bowled a fairly impressive last over. The match went to the penultimate ball. Let me in fact go across to Desigan as well, who's joining us from Chennai. Yes, Mr. Desigan.
You should not come to the conclusion that one catch has been misplayed. No. Cannot at the conclusion.
Right, Mr. Desigan. Lots of messages, of course, coming out in support of Arshdeep Singh after what was a genuine mistake. It happens to the best of cricketers at very sensitive moments during the game. He, in fact, dropped a catch of Khushdil Shah, who ended up, in fact, making a match-winning contribution for Pakistan. Eventually, Arshdeep fought hard. In fact, he dismissed him in the final over as well. So these are some of the reactions coming in, showing solidarity with Arshdeep Singh, who's been subjected to extremely sinister trolling, with his loyalty to the country also being questioned by Pakistani Twitter handles.
ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੇਸ਼ਵਾਸੀ ਨੇ ਅਰਸ਼ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ, ਅਰਸ਼ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਤਾਰਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਬੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਰਸ਼ ਬੋਲਿੰਗ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਯਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਉਸ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੇ ਜਾਈਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਪਲੇਅਰ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਿੰਗ ਕਰੀਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਦੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰੀਏ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਬੜੀ ਸ਼ਰਮਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦਾ ਸਤਾਰਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਭਰਾ ਛੋਟਾ ਅਰਸ਼ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਟ ਕੇ ਖੜੇ।
We're being joined now by a caller from Kolkata. Soumen Chatterjee joins us on the broadcast. Yes, Soumen, what's your response to what Arshdeep Singh has had to go through?
Yeah, these people who are trolling this kid, they cannot be told as a cricket lover. These people, they try to mingle this politics and other things and ruin this kid's career. So these should not be taken care in any circumstances. IT ministry should handle it in a very strict manner. These kids should always be highlighted in a more patriotic way. And it's very hard to understand these people who are trolling this, and they should know what mental status and other things to be done in a full-fledged in a match against Pakistan. And in the last over, these people never had a game in their own personal thing also. They should be banned from the social media.
Right. In fact, the Indian government has taken this matter up very aggressively with Wikipedia, even questioned the ease with which somebody's profile can in fact be changed in the manner that it was We're also being joined by Remy from Delhi. Yes, Remy, go ahead with your response to what Arshdeep Singh has had to go through.
I feel sorry for him, poor person, because he played for India and he is going to play for India. It happens to everybody under pressure. So I'm with Arshdeep and the Indian team.
Right, thanks a lot for that response, Remy. Let me in fact go back once again to Karishma. So Karishma, of course, the Indian government is expected to take this matter up very aggressively with forums like Wikipedia, but this is something that has happened in the past, and therefore it merits a deeper examination into the kind of bots that operate out of Pakistan with the sole intention of sowing the seeds of division here in India.
Well, it's absolutely, Siddharth. You correctly pointed out this is not the first time. We saw what happened to Mohammad Shami after the match against Pakistan in T20 World Cup. And now we have Arshdeep Singh, who is at the receiving end of all sorts of hatred from Pakistani propagandists. So clearly, the government of India taking note of this and ensuring that something is done about it. And that is why Wikipedia officials have been summoned, and they are going to explain as to how Khalistan was, added to Arshdeep Singh's Wikipedia page. But obviously a deeper interrogation needs to be done into this, because this has happened time and again that whenever it is an India versus Pakistan match and Pakistan wins it, more often than not there is hatred for Indian players. So we will have to wait and see what sort of action or what sort of a plan does the government of India have for this. But at the moment, what is a slap in the face of Pakistani trolls is the fact that the entire country is united with Arshdeep Singh, and the hashtag I stand with Arshdeep is trending on social media.
Right. Complete unanimity, Karishma, in the support for Arshdeep here in India. PR Ghosh joins us from Calcutta. Yes, Mr. Ghosh, please go ahead.
No, I only want to say that in a game, mistake is very common. So it is very insane to criticize Arshdeep.
Absolutely. Lots of strong reactions coming in. It was not his fault. It was a bona fide error that took place on the field, and he cannot be subjected to the kind of abuse that he has on the part of many of the social media handles that are out to defame him and sow seeds of division here in India. Lots of solidarity with Arshdeep Singh on the part of the Indian cricketing fraternity. The board has come out and defended him, as have many other cricketers. We're also being, in fact, Manjinder Singh Sirsa of the BJP has also taken this up at the highest level.